Welcome back. You're watching 101. We're talking with dancer, choreographer, and performing artist Otis Sallid. At what point did you consider that you had reached a point of success? Was there a defining moment where you thought, okay, I've reached a point where I can actually say I'm successful?
I don't believe there's anything called success. I don't understand that concept. There is no success. You do the work. You continue to paint. You know, there's no success.
Is it being as good as your only as good as your last piece?
Yes,
is that what it is? Yeah.
but you know, you don't want to be in that mindset that I'm successful. There's no such thing. You're working on your art.
You got to work with some amazing people. You did the choreography on a lot of Spike Lee's work, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X. What was it like working with Spike Lee?
Spike is wonderful. He was always able to define people of color properly. So that was always wonderful to be in that world. He and Debbie Allen really put me out there as a choreographer at first. And, you know, we had the money once again, we had the cameras running. And I was so impressed with Denzel. And I you know, I'm in education again, as I said, and I tell my students, I say, Denzel would show up a half an hour before I got there. And I was an hour early. Wow. I walk in the room and he'd be stretching and dancing and learning the steps. So when I got there the next day, he would be ahead of me or just with me. And now this is an artist who doesn't have to do this. Yeah. He could have doubles.
That's devotion.
That's passion and devotion. And once again, that word comes up again. And so he was a great person to work with.
Now you did the Oscars, the Academy Awards in 1996. It's such a structured event. It must have been quite a challenge.
It's a funny, unbelievable world. I walk in the first day. And as far as you can see, all the way around the room, and this is a huge room, rehearsal hall, is all the press of the world. It's like, whoa. And it's funny because anything you say is on the news all over the world. Anything you say is on the news all over the world. So you have to be careful what you say. But it's pretty remarkable, the Oscars. Everybody's there. And
you're even like guiding Billy Crystal in his steps as well.
Right? Exactly right. So you're the choreographer of the whole show. So if anybody needs any movement, you're also the host of any kind of dance or any kind of artist coming in to perform. The year, I think it was River Dance. So you're the host for them, make sure that they are taken care of.
And you became their ambassador as well.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Now, interesting, you did the Super Bowl, which, you know, for a lot of people is America's premier sporting event, effectively, a huge event. I wouldn't have imagined there's a huge amount of choreography around a sporting event, but I guess the entertainment's quite a big part.
It's a big part. I was able to work with Stevie Wonder, who's wonderful, India Reed, John Legend, who's big right now in the States. And you have to put all of them together. You got to get all the FBI clearances. I was a producer on it. And you got to get all these different kind of elements together, and you have to get everybody out there in 5 minutes and everybody off the stage in 5 minutes. It's huge.
Made more complicated by the fact you're off-site as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, you can't. I do makeup 4 blocks away. I have to do makeup 4 blocks away and then bring them in on a bus. It's huge. It's massive.
You also did the choreography on the television series Fame, which again is a lot about those skills that you talk about. It's kind of close to home, I guess.
Yes.
You actually wrote music for that too.
Yes, I write music. I had a couple of hit songs on there, and I had a hit song that called "Showtime at the Apollo." It was a big song that's, I think it ran for about 10, 15 years.
It's interesting too, because I think, you know, as you say, being, you know, director / choreographer / artist, you also ended up doing commercials. Now, I thought that might be an unusual area for you to work in, but it seems that it gave you a lot of creativity.
Commercials are great because it's the state of the art. You can do anything you want in terms. You can have any camera you want. You can have any set you want.
Is it because they're funded well?
They're funded well. I mean, they're the huge amounts of money you spend on a commercial. From as I said, Infinity to Burger King to McDonald's. You know, there's just huge amount.
You had the big clients, basically. Yes, right. Yeah. What kind of creativity did it allow you to express?
Well, I learned how to shoot beauty. You learn how to shoot beauty. You learn how to you learn the tenets of different products. For example, when you want to shoot, this might sound terrible, but when you want to shoot like insects, you got to put them on ice a little bit. So when you're looking at the insect, the camera's looking at the insect, it's just, all it's doing is unfreezing. And so it'll sit there or else it'll fly away. Jell-O, you got to get a bank of refrigerators as big as this palace so that all the color is exactly right and everything is the same. So every product, every cars, you got to shoot slow motion so they have a little, they have a little thing like this. So every product, you learn how to really shoot everything.
Now, did you find that you could be as creative as you wanted, or did you find that there was the element of having to keep the client happy?
I realized that if I do a commercial a year or two ago, no one will ever remember it. I wrote a show called Smokey Joe's Cafe it was a hit Broadway show. Everybody will remember that forever. Commercials come and they go. I mean, it's a way to make money, and it's a way to really work on the art of photography and use of camera and how to run a crew. That's a big thing for a director. You got to be able to run a crew. I remember I was working in Georgia, and I had 4 blocks raining. I mean, as far as you can see, it was raining. And it was so funny. I said, okay, let it rain. And the whole place, there was raining. And it's just unbelievable. And you go home, and your wife says, can you empty the garbage, please?
That's right. I made it rain today.
Wait, I made it rain. I can't empty the garbage.
How do you regard the state of the performing arts nowadays? Do you feel they are well-funded enough? Do you feel there's enough support for them in the general public? Or is it a dying art?
No, I think it's funded. I think it does well. People who want to do it, regardless. When we didn't have money, we made great art. So, I mean, people do it. I mean, yes, it'd be nice to be funded, but if it, this sounds awful, what I'm going to say, and people are going to kill me for this, but great art doesn't always need money. When we didn't have money, we were doing great art. I think, and they're going to kill me for this too, but I think the hip-hop culture has destroyed art.
Interesting you say that.
And
because a lot of people say it was kind of emancipating.
I don't think so. It's like, that's a big statement, and they're going to crucify me. But a lot of art is no longer. I mean, no one's. Stevie Wonder said to me, I use a big keyboard up here to record my music. I have all this sounding board to record my music. That's no longer. Now everybody doing hip hop on a computer, so the music's really flat.
Right.
The music, there's no left and right of it. It's just all flat music, and that's the norm. I mean, how cheap can you go? Could
it be argued though that it's become accessible to the streets?
Yeah, it's accessible. I mean, all jazz was accessible, and all of it's accessible, but easy, fast, quick. How low can you go?
But it's interesting. Your mission is also to educate, because apart from Harlem Stories, you did gospel.
Oh my gosh.
Which again bridges that. It's art, as you put it, not specifically church, which is kind of an important differentiation.
I love this piece. I wrote this piece called Gospel. It is the history of gospel music from 1929 to the present. And gospel and spiritual music is very interesting music because it speaks vertically and horizontally. It speaks to God and it speaks to people. So that it rings like that. And when you get that tone coming to you like that, even in this culture, when you hear that tone speaking to you, it brings you to your higher self. And so it was just very powerful to hear that, to see that history.
Now, it's interesting because I know you feel it's very important for, especially the black community and the young generation, not to forget the struggle that they went through. And I think this reflects on that, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You get a real sense of who you are on the world stage. And that's important. I don't think that's important. I don't think that a lot of the kids get who they are on the world stage. We're no longer Americans and Ethiopians and Africa. We are planetarians. We are now planetarians. So you have to judge what you do on the world stage, not just locally.
Otis, how would you like to be remembered? What would you like your legacy to be?
Oh, God. That he did great art. And he had a family. He was a family man. He took care of his family, and he did great art.
Otis, I wish you a long life. More power to you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Thank you.